So let's keep talking about these guys and the trading deadline. Today I want to talk about Kris Bryant. And his is an interesting situation. And to me, there are only two real obvious spots. The other guys that I've been talking about, if you haven't seen them, all the videos are down below. And these are essentially the most appealing options, or probably the guys that are going to be most likely sought after at this trading deadline, and the most likely destinations for them, and the most realistic ones. So there's a whole bunch of guys down below if you haven't seen them, so take a look. Today's Kris Bryant. And to me, like I just said, there's two obvious spots. I can't really pinpoint any more spots beyond this because it just doesn't make sense. And that talks about the need, the team, the market, what it bears, and so on. And so the first obvious team for me is the Washington Nationals. And they never really replaced Anthony Rendon there. And he would bring a superstar bat, superstar presence, with superstar defense, and he would give that lineup more versatility. Plus, he has the ability to play the outfield as well. So the ability to do both. That means he's athletic enough to do that, and it gives that lineup another infusion of offense to go with these young dynamic players like Soto and Trey Turner and some of these other guys. Plus, they're at the point too, the Nationals, and this is kind of contingent upon them falling out of contention this year or not falling out of contention this year. Because if they fall out of contention this year, I think that they're probably going to wind up trading Max Scherzer and getting a hearty return for him. But that said, if they do, they could re-sign him in the offseason and just have a batch of prospects and him. This reminds me of the Aroldis Chapman situation when the Yankees offloaded him to the Cubs, got Gleyber Torres, and then re-signed them in the offseason. And they wound up with both. This could be a similar scenario. And in that case, if the Nationals did that, then I think they would show that they're serious about contending again, and which makes a Kris Bryant acquisition more logical. Because he is going to cost money, and the Learners over in Washington are one of the few teams that were probably willing to spend enough to get him. And he would be worth the investment. And he's young, and he still has, I think he's going to complement that lineup, and he's a good veteran presence to help mentor some of the young guys. He's already won an MVP. He's got championship pedigree, okay? He's got a title just like the Nationals do. And so he brings a lot to the table with the Cubs. I mean, not the Cubs, the Nationals. And it makes him a logical fit. Now, what the return would be, that's kind of to be determined. I'm going to do my final MLB trade deadline predictions a couple of days prior to the actual deadline, and then I'll talk about the return packages as well. So keep an eye out for that. And if you want to see it, make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so yet. And I'll have a whole bunch of other videos before that. So, but the Nationals seem to me, they need an infusion at the offensive side. If Scherzer comes back, they have that trifecta, and that's also providing that Strasburg and Patrick Corbin stay healthy. Corbin's been inconsistent. Strasburg's had trouble stay healthy. Scherzer at least has the consistency and the durability. So he has both things that neither one of them have together. So neither one of them have both of. So that's a good thing. And so I think it might be a twofer, to be honest with you. If they fall way out of contention, then it's probably going to be a factor of, well, are they going to do this or not? And which makes it it kind of throws a Kris Bryant scenario up in the air, because at the same token, if the Cubs kind of inch their way up into contention as well, then they may not move Kris Bryant. They may keep everybody. They might add to their team instead of blowing things up. But if they fall out completely, then it makes sense to move Bryant and guys like Baez and Hendricks, Contreras, and get a boatload of prospect capital in return, because they are kind of decimated at the prospect level, particularly high-end pitching as well. So, and they would get a bunch of good prospects back for some of these guys. So they're kind of intertwined with each other, the Cubs. If they both fall out of contention, it goes one way. If they stay in contention, it goes another way. So, but to me, the Nationals are one of the most logical spots. The other one now, it becomes even more realistic, as the Atlanta Braves. And I know they have Austin Riley, and he's been playing well, but Marcell Ozuna's situation now has just created an urgent need for Kris Bryant, because him and Riley both play third base in the outfield. Ozuna's been playing left, so you could put one of them in left and the other one in third and alternate them now, because Ozuna's likely not going to be back. Who knows what's going to happen with his situation, because I know that Atlanta just re-signed him to a 4-year deal, but these domestic violence situations, he's likely going to might be suspended the whole entire year. Who knows what's going to happen? So, especially if police said that they witnessed this, so that's not good. But it would give the Braves another young, dynamic bat, another young, athletic player to go at that, like the Riley and Acuna and Albies and Freddie Freeman, who also is up. His contract is up, or extension's up, so we'll see if he's going to get re-signed as well. So Kris Bryant serves a number of purposes there. He can be another bat to add to that potent lineup or to replace somebody in this lineup. So it kind of goes up in the air, but the Braves are they are a piece or two away from really being at the top and top and top. And now that the Dodgers and the Padres are where they're at, the Braves need to make a move of this stature in order to stay competitive with them. And Kris Bryant, to me, represents that piece that they need. And again, he's elite defensively, so he serves a lot of, defensively and offensively. So serves a lot of purposes. So those are my two logical spots. And let me know what you think. And they're both in the National League East. So they'd be pawning themselves off each other and potentially fighting the Mets and the Phillies off for contention in that division. So let me know what you think, and take a look at the other ones if you haven't taken a look at them. But I could see Bryant being traded to one of those teams at the deadline. So it's pretty realistic in my opinion. So thanks for watching. Talk to you next time.